call to order our board meeting. I do not think I'm projecting, so apologize. I'm going to call to order our board meeting for Wednesday, May 20th, 2026. This is our regular board meeting beginning at 6:30 p.m. Alana, can we get a call to order, or a roll call, please?
Yes. Mr. Nye?
Here.
Ms. Wazowski?
Here.
Mr. Ward?
Here.
Dr. Strickler?
Here.
Dr. Simmons is absent this evening.
Yes. And I believe our mock trial group is going to lead us in our Pledge of Allegiance. If you would please, the flag is over here. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right, safety briefing. We have exits on both sides of the lower level, as well as an exit on my left of the upper level if needed. Can I get a motion to adopt tonight's agenda, please?
So moved.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Ms. Wazowski?
Yes.
Mr. Ward? Mr. Nye?
Yes.
Dr. Strickler?
Yes. I would also make a motion to approve item 3.1, which is the minutes from our special meeting on May 5th. Could I get a second to approve those minutes?
Second.
Dr. Strickler?
Yes.
Mr. Nye?
Yes.
Ms. Wazowski?
Yes.
Mr. Ward?
All right, and our presentation tonight is going to be the Anderson and Turpin mock trial team. Sandy Dunstan Hoover is going to tell us a little bit about their recent victories.
Well, hello. So I became very lucky. I was asked to take over as the advisor this year. So this was my first year as in mock trial. I didn't really know what I was getting into. And then we went to state. So it's been very, very exciting. But I really want to acknowledge the people that have put in way more time than I have. And first, Kevin Carter. He is one of our legal advisors from Frost Brown Todd Gibbons. And he has been doing it for close to 15 years. So he has really put in a lot of time and effort on that. And then these are some of our students that do it. We have several others, but you know, with all the schedules at this time of year, they cannot be here. But I would like Nora Zellen and Grace Rogers. They both have some words that they would like to say about their experience. They've both been with mock trial for a long time, and then both were able to compete at state. So I'm going to turn it over to you guys.
Our program is technically top 8 in the state, which is something that still has not registered for me. I joined mock trial as a freshman right as the program was starting back up after the virtual years. Most of us were brand new, learning about objections, different types of witnesses, burdens of proof, and hearsay, which I don't think will ever make sense, but over the years, we developed crucial skills like public speaking, thinking on our feet, and reading complex documents. But more than that, I fell in love with the process and strategy of mock trial, analyzing how best to use a witness, apply case law, and build an argument has been a thrilling challenge every year. This year, our freshmen reminded me of the joy of learning of all of the intricacies for the first time. Because I'll be honest, this case was not my favorite. It pushed our team to our limits as we tried to figure out what evidence we were even arguing to suppress. But one of the best things about mock trial being a team pursuit is that we wrestled with what third-party doctrine meant together. It was never an individual struggle. At nearly every competition, a judge mentioned how our team worked really well together, and those comments are a testament to the supportive environment our advisors and coaches cultivated. We shared both the challenges and victories, and making state was a culmination of that hard work. Seeing our new members light up with understanding, come up with a brilliant idea, or tackle subbing into multiple different roles because of illnesses or other commitments was inspiring and really kept me going as senioritis slowly crept in. I hope over the next 3 years, my teammates are able to find the same joy in mock trial that I've found. Going to state again would be nice, but even better is the thrill of finding something you want to do for the rest of your life. That's what I found in mock trial. I've been interested in law since elementary school, but it wasn't until the opportunity to shadow our coaches that I realized working in the legal field is my dream. And that's something I will continue to pursue at Ohio State as a business major on the pre-law track next year. I'm so proud of everything this team accomplished this year and every year prior, and I cannot wait to see what this program does next.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Mock trial is special. When I look back over my 4 years of high school, and even at myself as a person, I always come back to mock trial. When I joined as a freshman, it was completely by chance. I happened to see the table out of the corner of my eye at the club fair and decided it might be interesting, so I should give it a go. I figured that I would learn about law and courtroom procedure, and I did. But what I didn't figure was that I would learn an even bigger lesson, which is that mock trial creates and rewards well-rounded people. See, my first lesson in mock trial had nothing to do with direct examination or objections. It was self-advocacy. When I walked into our first ever meeting, I saw a room full of seniors, none of whom I knew. I had two options. I could turn around, or I could choose to put myself into a new environment and stand up for myself, not as a 14-year-old who had no idea what they were doing, but as a person choosing to push their boundaries. From there, I learned public speaking, and I went from someone who couldn't even give a presentation in front of a class to delivering opening statements in a courthouse in a matter of months. But even more than that, mock trial is the place to learn critical thinking skills, creative thinking skills, and work ethic. In court, you need to be able to adjust immediately to opposing arguments. To be ready for this, we prep tirelessly, attempting to understand and work through every possible argument in our case. This process can be exhausting and tiring and frustrating, but it is the most powerful tool to teach creative and critical thinking that I have ever experienced. This year, we had a witness who, on the first read-through of the case, we figured was useless. Could not think of a single reason why the case writers would have included this person. But with time and a couple of scrimmages and another witness that was starting to become a little problematic, we decided to take another look. My co-counsel, Kendall Bailey, and I spent countless nights on the phone until, honestly, a little bit too late at night, working through every single word in the witness statement. We knew we had gold, but we couldn't quite put our fingers on it. We poured tons of time and energy into this. We even ended up working a little bit on Christmas morning, which our families were probably not the happiest about, I'll admit. But eventually, we came out of it with a witness that was strong enough to prove every single point we needed and complex enough to foil opposing counsel. And I am confident that that witness is one of the big reasons why we made it so far at state. Mock trial is special. And as I look toward next year and starting to go to college at Northwestern with experiences that I can't even imagine yet, I am constantly reminded of how thoroughly mock trial has touched every part of my life. And I would like to express our sincere gratitude to the school board and, of course, to our advisor, DH, and our coaches for the incredible amounts of work they put in and their continuous support. Thank you so much.
You all, that is very impressive. Top 8 in state, critical thinking, creativity, public speaking, and it assuages senioritis. I feel like we might need to continue to grow the program. That's amazing.
And if
Would
I
you
could-
all mind standing up so we can congratulate you? And then, yes,
Yeah.
sorry.
I just
Now I'm going
wanna
to turn it
say-
over to the legal side of the table.
Lawyers. I just want to say, I had the opportunity to watch you compete at the local level and at the regional level, and I was so, so proud of how well you represented the district. And sitting in the audience and hearing other people watch one of you cross-examine a witness or be a witness and think about how to answer those questions, the people in the audience would sometimes turn to each other and say, whoa. And just as a person on the school board and a parent and aunt in the school district, I was just bursting with pride with what all of you can do and all of you were demonstrating doing. And I also want to say, Kevin, we love how much you volunteer your legal skills for the district. Jeff and I just were with Kevin last week at the junior high, the middle school. So your legal generosity seems to know no bounds, and we really appreciate that. So for the whole team, whether you become lawyers or not, I hope you will consider this an introduction to the kind of service and the kind of skills that you can do through a career in law. And if there's any way that we can help you with that, please let us know. We are so, so happy to have you representing the district.
I feel like as the other lawyer peer, I should add something to that, but I don't know what I could say that hasn't already been said. Other than, I'm so glad you had this wonderful experience. I didn't have mock trial when I was your age, and so I'm a lawyer now, but this would have given me a leg up, and I wish I had. So thank you to everyone who makes it happen, and congratulations.
Absolutely. Thank you. All right. Our next shout out of the evening, Mr. Hook is going to speak to Maddox Elementary that was recognized as the 2026 National Gold Star School.
Thank you, Dr. Strickler. Less than 2 weeks ago, the National Association of Elementary School Principals announced the 2026 recipients of its National Gold Star Schools recognition, which honor elementary and middle schools across the country that demonstrate exemplary leadership, innovation, and commitment to student success. Selected through a competitive process, the National Gold Star Schools are recognized for their accomplishments based on the National Association of Elementary School Principals framework of the 3 pillars of principalship, which are establishing culture, empowering people, and optimizing systems. There are only 57 schools in America and only 1 from Ohio that were selected this school year. This year, Maddox Elementary was the chosen one. They joined an elite group of recognized schools for the highest standards of effective school leadership, academic excellence, and inclusive learning environments. The principals from the 57 schools selected will be formally recognized at the National School Leaders Conference and the National Association of Elementary School Principals at Disney's Coronado Springs Resort in Orlando, Florida this summer in July. Maddox is led by Principal Joy O'Brien and Assistant Principal Zach Larson. Mrs. O'Brien, I think you have some other.
Thank you, Larry, so much, and thank you, Board, for taking a moment of your meeting to recognize Maddox. This is absolutely a building-wide award, our staff award, and a community award. And I have some amazing Maddox Mustang staff members here this evening. I am going to say their names. I do want to start with Peter Frankus over here doing technology for us this evening. He's on staff at Maddox. I have Carolyn Helmers, Sydney Wills, Nikki Nieberding, Rita Doty, Michelle Dalton, Ashley Borio, and Tori Castile here also this evening. So thank you again for this recognition.
standing, because you will not see, you may not even see me then.
Wendy, you could sit or stand. Okay. Wendy's meant to get on a chair. Wendy, find your window. Piggyback?
I got a window.
He's here. He's here. Thank you all.
Hey, was it OEASA that we were at together recently? Yes. Okay, yeah. I should know that, yeah, okay, cool. So I was recently at an all-day presentation by OEASA on integrated multi-tiered systems of support, and I showed up for the day in Columbus to find Joy there as well. So consummate learner and spending a lot of time thinking about cohesion and coherence for her building, and just always really impressive, the continuous learning growth and looking at how to help students thrive at Maddox. So congratulations to you all. All right. Item 5 is public commentary. I do not believe we have any speakers this evening, so I'm going to skip directions for public comment and move on to superintendent updates.
Thank you again.
Mr. Hook, back up.
Fun time of year, for sure. First of all, I'm hoping Mr. Jados didn't get too far away. He's up there. Okay. I really couldn't say anything for a while because I was sworn to secrecy because it was embargoed until just actually a little bit ago, earlier this week. In fact, I waited for that because they said they were going to contact him. So when I called him to congratulate him, he said, "What are you talking about?" So I had to kind of tell him a little bit what was going on. But I do want to recognize Andy Jados. I'm going to have him working. There he is, okay. He is the OASSA Zone 2 High School Principal of the Year. That's the Ohio Association of Secondary School Administrators. Okay? Zone 2 is more than just Southwest Ohio. Okay? It includes Hamilton, Claremont, Butler, Warren, which are typically what you think of, but it also includes Clinton, Brown, Highland, and Adams counties. So what does this mean? It means Andy is now a finalist in the state level process. Later this year, the OSAA Board of Directors will select the 4 overall winners from this pool of highly talented zone winners to represent the state of Ohio. And so all the zone winners will be recognized at the fall conference of the OASSA in October. So with that, I want to extend this congratulations to Mr. Jados. I'm a little short in this picture, but that's
Larry, I feel that with every board picture.
Stand up here.
Andy, I reached out to you for shout outs. You didn't mention this one on behalf of Turpin.
I was focused more on the students at this point, but.
Of course you were. Yes, congratulations.
But thank you very much, and you know, with the staff and the community and the parents and the students that we work with every day, I mean, it's an amazing job. So that's feel very honored for this. So thank you. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
And I hope you catch a picture of Mr. Jados. And I told him, don't even tell me, but I'm assuming you had a belt restraint so you didn't fall off the top of the
Just not.
auditorium. So I assumed that he had it on, right? Don't tell me any different. But anyway, he's done a fantastic job at Turpin High School. We really appreciate him. The other one I wanted to mention, some of you may know, but it just happened. So Leslie Harbach is a 5th grade ELA and math teacher at Summit, and she was recognized as Forest Hill School District Celebrate Excellence honoree with the Hamilton County ESC, which included a nice banquet recognition. The MC was Anthony Munoz, who always does a fantastic job And so very excited. Mrs. Harback is a passionate teacher, and I had a chance to go watch her in action. She had me doing exercises. I made the mistake of going in on Wellness Wednesday, so I had to recover afterward. But it's just neat to see somebody so passionate, and the kids respond so much. Leslie is a true superstar in our district, and so I just think it's important that we congratulate her. She's truly inspiring, and we wish her many, many, many more years, Forest Hills.
Absolutely. Can we give her a round of applause as well?
Yeah, absolutely. Also, again, this is another big one. We were the NAM Foundation. Of course, if you don't know what that is, that's the National Association of Music Merchants. We're again recognized as a school district and community that celebrates its music, whether it's band, whether it's chorus, orchestra. It's just an amazing situation where the overall approach to music education, instructional time, participation rates, facilities, community support, funding, all of that is part and parcel what they consider for a district to be given this prestigious award. And so I just really want to congratulate the entire Forest Hills Music Department, K through 12. It just, they plant the seeds at an early age, and kids perform fantastic. And you've seen, opportunities. Your kids probably have even participated in some of them, but I think about the Christmas program and seeing the orchestra come in and playing, and I'm just going, how do they do that? That's just amazing to me. So congratulations to the district again for being mentioned, getting that national recognition.
Absolutely. Round of applause for our music.
There you go.
Doing celebratory tonight.
The next thing I just real quickly wanted to mention to you is we have just sent out our family engagement survey. Very important for us to hear back. This went out to all of our parents. We need your insight and feedback as it relates to your academics and educational experience. It's really about fostering that commitment between home and school. We're going to ask about safety, school culture and climate, just a variety of things. It was shared with parents via email. We'll still be accepting responses through May 27th. Earlier this week, we had up to 451 responses so far. I haven't checked in the last day or so, so I think it's still growing, but anybody that you happen to see, make sure they do it. You can fill it out once for your entire family, or if you have 3 kids in 3 different buildings, you can fill it out 3 times so that we have information on each environment, because high school is different than middle school, and it's different than elementary. So that's all information that we want to take in and synthesize. It's part of communications. It's part of how we address moving forward next fall. We look at it very much. So we'll have the raw data in June, so you'll be able to start seeing that, and our administrators will start the process of diving into it. So again, encourage anybody that you see. If they haven't filled it out, please do so. We do value their input. Just a quick update on Celebrating America 250th. The elementary, all the schools entered into the postcard art contest, which is, I wanted to make mention of Morgan, who is the champ. And you
would.
can see her artwork down there in the corner, or in the bottom, with America. She won the poster contest celebrating America's 250th birthday. Also want to mention other things that are going on, fourth grade history passes. These are being offered to everybody in Ohio that's in fourth grade. And basically, the kids get to go in free. Parent has to pay. The kid gets to go in free. But like there are 3 places in Cincinnati that are honoring this. That's the Cincinnati Museum Center, the Harriet Beecher Stowe House, the National Underground Railroad Freedom Center. And if you Google it, this is the easiest way. Just Google a fourth grade history pass. And you hit the state one, it'll show you all the different places throughout Ohio. So if you happen to be up in Columbus or somewhere, hey, let's go do this. Nagel is currently on their Washington, D.C. field trip, which is, it's a wowzer. It's always a wowzer, though. It's always pretty cool. But it's really cool this time because they are aware of it being 250th as well. So there's some special stuff going on there. That's why I think Mr. Fellows is still missing. So I hope he's okay. But he should be good.
Not missing, he's
Not
with
mi-
the.
He's He's missing here, but not missing in actions. But we're excited for him. So that's going on. The big one coming up is the 4th of July parade. So I know that our band is an integral part of that. And I want to also say it's our dance team. Is there a dance team that's in that? Sure. Cheer team, cheer. Our cheerleaders will be in big numbers there, helping to celebrate. And so, again, to the community, 4th of July parade, fun on a normal 4th of July. This is going to be pretty wild. I think it's worth finding some time and getting there and getting your spot somewhere along Beachmont. So we're excited for that. Secondaries, of course, has been doing announcements. They've been having classes, particular classes, if you're in history classes, about the 250th. It will continue into next year, though. We're gonna make it last. It's 250. Not very many people get 250. So, we're going to be obviously recognizing and spending more time on Patriots Day, Constitution Day, Veterans Day, October Patriotic Songs Month, Spirit Days, and there's some other classroom lessons. So at the secondary, it's a lot more with that individualized class, but every kid's going to take history along the way, so we get that in there. So pretty excited about that. I love the poster. It's awesome.
That's awesome.
Any questions on anything so far? Because this kind of bleeds right into 7.1, my next thing. So,
No, this is great, thank you.
well, let's move into 7.1. You can see, and I'll just use my next slide.
I might get a little.
The fun stuff. This is the great stuff, really. This is truly an exciting time of the year for our seniors that will be graduating really soon. This is a culmination of 13 years of formal education, which is, do the math, it's nearly 3/4 of their life in formal education, okay? They're about to launch into their future, whether it's college, whether it's the military, or directly into the world of work. Both our high schools will be using the Truist Center at Northern Kentucky University for their ceremonies this Saturday, May 23rd. Anderson High School students will graduate at 10 a.m., and Turpin High School students will graduate at 3 p.m. So 10 and 3. And with that said, it is my honor to recommend that the Board of Education of the Forest Hills School District approve the granting of diplomas to the 602 candidates listed on the attachments from Anderson High School and Turpin High School. And any student who enrolls in Turpin or Anderson after this date, subject to satisfactory completion of all state and local requirements as noted for graduation. I'm seeking your approval for that.
Well, on behalf of my son and all the other kids on the list, I will make a motion to approve.
Second.
Dr. Strickler?
Yes.
Ms. Wazowski?
Yes.
Mr. Nye?
Yes.
Mr. Ward?
Yes. You've made 602 kids very, very happy.
And congratulations to them. We're looking forward to Saturday. So, yeah. Item 8 is reports to the board. Forest Hills Teachers Association. Mr. Preston.
This is all hard to follow, all of these celebrations, but I'll
Do you
give
want a
it
round of applause?
Yeah, right. Sure.
It's been a good year, Chris. All right.
Thank you, President
Pressure's
Wendy.
off now.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Well, good evening to members of the board, minus Dr. Simmons tonight. First, as we approach the close of another school year, we want to recognize the hard work of our students, our educators, and our families. The end of the year brings important milestones, celebrations, and reflection on growth. We are proud of the learning and achievements of our students, and we thank our teachers and many others for their dedication throughout the year. It does take a village. Second, the Forest Hills Teachers Association recognizes and thanks Larry Hook for his years of service as superintendent. We appreciate the partnership we have had with Superintendent Hook and the support he has shown for the work of our educators. A strong relationship between the district and the association is built on mutual trust, respect, and shared interests. We are grateful for the opportunities we've had to work together and serve the Forest Hills community. As he prepares for the next chapter, we wish him the very best and thank him for his dedication and service to Forest Hills. Last, we wish all of our students, families, and staff a safe, restful, and well-deserved summer break. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, item 9 is board spotlights. Who would like to kick us off?
I'll go.
All right.
Okay, I've got 3. Real quick. Emerson, Guys and Dolls was phenomenal. They're preparing for exams and graduation. I think they have exams coming up next week, so good luck to all the students and the staff. Mercer, as Larry said, the America 250, they're celebrating this Friday. I saw in their little bulletin, they've got a little celebration for the kids with popsicles and things like that. Looks very fun, so I'm excited for them with that. And then with the Oaks, congrats to Lily Crate for winning first place in the Advanced Desktop Publishing at the BPA National Leadership Conference, which is a national title, so congrats to her. Anderson student, now at Yale's. And lastly, the teachers and staff and administrators, thank you and good luck the next week and a half.
Good thinking. Jeff, would you like to share?
Sure. I've got Nagel and Maddox. It occurs to me now that I should have followed up knowing Jason wasn't going to be here to cover him, and I didn't. So
okay.
Sorry to, Wilson and Air, I think. Sorry. But Maddox, obviously, Gold Star school recognition, a wonderful honor for the staff and parents and administrators and students to make that happen. Just great work, everyone. Maybe in January or February, we heard about some of the literacy projects that Maddox was doing. They were writing kindness letters to each other. It was very cute. They gave us little kindness clips. At the end of the year here, they're doing another writing activity designed to highlight their growth as writers over the course of the year. What they're doing is they're pairing up kids with kids in the grade level below them, and they're writing and then reading to other students about what next year's students should be excited about coming into the current grade and what they should do when things get hard. So that's just another great example. It not only teaches good writing skills, but helps establish that community and connection between kids and each other, so that's really cool. And then over to Nagel, High School Musical was staged last week. It was excellent. 3 people, I believe, placed in the state track meet. Corbin Gunter took 7th in the 110 meter hurdles. Reese Pranger 3rd in the mile, and Owen Wall 7th in the pole vault. 2 more things. Last week or the week before, Aaron and I, along with Kevin Carter, went to the 7th grade ELA classes who are staging a mock trial of Johnny Cade from The Outsiders. We talked about what makes a good witness, what makes a good prosecuting attorney and defense attorney, and try to help them get ready for that. They were very excited about that. Really neat project.
They had tough questions.
Tough questions, great questions, really insightful questions. And then Connections Week is coming up next week for the 8th graders. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. We'll be talking and meeting with people about career, college, and community with that goal of helping foster that culture of hope, belonging, and connection to each other, to their community, to their futures. So it takes a lot of people to make that happen. So thanks to everyone who makes it happen. And finally, of course, the 8th graders are in Washington right now. I can tell you that at this very moment, my daughter is on the south side of the tidal basin near the Eleanor Roosevelt statue. So hopefully not getting in any trouble there. Seems like they're having fun.
We did run into each other at the pre-dawn drop-off
We
for
did.
the 8th graders, and it all seems to run so smoothly. I just can't imagine how many logistics go into making that trip happen.
Yeah.
I have just 2, both for Summit. Summit came in first place this week in the 6th grade Olympics, and it's been quite a few years since Summit took that honor home, so the bees are buzzing. They're very excited about that.
There was a small recount today, and Wilson may have come in first as a
What?
Sorry, it's in our email. Quick shout out to Wilson. They may have come in first in the 6th grade Olympics. There was a quick retally done, and I understand there's an email in our inbox with that information. So how about we shout out Summit and Wilson
How
as
about we
both
shout out all the 6th
strong
graders and their
contributors.
amazing athletic abilities? Yes.
Recount.
So sorry. That was on my list. I apologize.
Well, this is breaking news. Well,
Breaking
everyone,
news.
But it truly is great. So Wendy and I saw each
Awesome.
other there
Yes.
at the 6th grade Olympics, both as volunteers, and just seeing the different ways that the district has to recognize student opportunity and to say that all the kids got an opportunity to try some of the stations or to make their best attempt at some of the stations, and then other kids really have gifts in some of these different events and are able to bring home individual awards and school awards as well. My second one is for the Summit ELO teacher Beth Francis, who is recognized as the 2026 Educator of the Year for Greater Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky by Design Lab. So just a really a great honor and a wonderful referendum on the extended learning opportunities that our district has for young budding architects and designers from 3rd through 6th grade.
Absolutely. So we'll add Beth to the list tonight, along with Leslie and Joy and Andy, in terms of recognition in our district on all the amazing things that are happening.
Yeah,
So,
it's great to have our educators and our students putting Forest Hills on the map in very positive ways.
yeah, absolutely. So, and then just to hit upon the 6th grade Olympics, this was actually my first opportunity to participate as a volunteer, and I just want to thank our PE teachers for all of the work that clearly goes into putting that together, as well as all of the volunteers. It was another very well-run event with approximately 700 6th graders together at Anderson High School, and it was smooth and controlled and fun and, you know, controlled chaos and just a really good time. And I was super impressed with all of the kids and their willingness to try the different activities and
Yeah.
just celebrate each other. So
I was running the pull-up station or helping to run the pull-up station, and my favorite part was that a couple of kids said, "I can't do a pull-up," and we said, "Pull as hard as you can," and then some of them could, and it was like a moment for that. That was my expert coaching. Pull as hard as you can.
yes, and I still couldn't do a pull-up, but that's fine. So as well, with regard to Sherwood, last night Sherwood celebrated the art show, so I'd like to give a shout out to Miss Smith. She takes the students' arts projects that they've been working on all year and really cultivated their art skills along the way, and does a showcase in which parents and families are invited out to the school to see what the students have created. And it is a wealth of everything from Egyptian pyramids to castles to logographic kind of design to everything in between. So that was a really neat opportunity to see last night. And then at Turpin, 179 seniors were recognized at Turpin's Senior Awards and Local Scholarship Night. 14 seniors were honored on Monday at the athletic signing. And 4 students have broken the ECC record for 4x400 relay by 6 seconds, which, having watched track meets, 6 seconds is huge. And they are Parker Jones, Beckett Blazer, Carson Hughes, and Chase Spencer. So kudos to you guys for your fast running. That is amazing. So I think those are my shout-outs. Great. All right. And now we are going to begin the consent agenda. So we're going to start with Human Resources. And Chuck Ogden, I believe you are stepping into your HR shoes again.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Strickler. As you mentioned, this does start the consent agenda. Before I really get into it, we have 2 new assistant principal hires here in the audience, which I would like to introduce so that they can go home and hang out with their families. So we're very lucky. Sometimes you strike gold in your own backyard. So I want to start with Nick Pavley. He is going to be the new assistant principal at Nagel Middle School. He also lives in the community and has kids at Maddox, if I'm correct, right?
Cool.
We were lucky enough to acquire him from New Richmond Schools. He has a wealth of teaching knowledge, administrative knowledge, so we're just very happy to have him here. So welcome, Nick.
Welcome.
And then the next person is a 3rd generation Forest Hills person, and I believe Paige's grandfather helped build Titus, correct?
Wow.
She will be filling our vacancy at Anderson High School as an assistant principal and has been a phenomenal teacher for us throughout the course of her career. So we are very excited not only to welcome her fever and her passion, but her instructional skills as well as she steps into the assistant principal role. So welcome both of them. And now,
Mr. Ogden, not that I don't trust
Yeah,
the
please.
administrators and all of their decision-making around our hires, but when you have students and prior students show up in the audience
Yeah.
excited about our new hire at Anderson High School, I think that speaks volumes to a decision.
Absolutely.
So Kyle, Mia, shout out to you guys for hanging in this long in the board meeting.
Awesome, thank you for that. Now feel free to leave and so you don't get wet when you leave. All right, thank you so much. As I run into the Rena HR again, are there any questions in regards to the HR report that Mr. Fellows has shared?
There's a lot going on.
There is a lot going on. May is one of those months. As you see, contract renewals are up, as well as a couple of job descriptions. Any questions in regards to the reports, contracts, and/or job descriptions? Outstanding. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Teaching and learning. Sorry, business operations. I checked you off too soon. I got overzealous. Business operations. Mr. Eckert, apologies. I was busy looking at all the HR docs.
Start leaving. I'm gonna get a complex.
Don't take it personally. It's fine.
Okay. No, thank you this evening. I don't have any actionable items on the agenda, but I was asked to update the board on the pool, the Anderson Pool and Aquatics Facility. So first, I'd be remiss if I did not mention Josh Bazan helped me tremendously with this, with his historical archiving of records and everything like that. So this was a big help. So this was a team effort for sure. Okay. Basically, I'd like to start back in 2018 with this. In 2018, I'm going to run through this timeline pretty quick for you, just so you can get some highlights. In 2018, there was a noticeable, significant loss of water in the pool at Anderson. And then also during the construction, there were reports that there were pools of water outside when they were doing construction that water would come up. Very questionable. So that, obviously, we need to start a preliminary investigation to start digging into that. And at this time, just so the board understands, I really wasn't in operations. I dabbled in it, but these are all through various documents. But then by 2019, we were requested by our insurance company to shut down and drain the pool because we were nervous that we did not know what was going on with it at that time. And something theoretically catastrophic could have been underneath. So at that time, we started a very comprehensive study of the pool, the whole center, and that was a team of MSA architects, Water Technologies, their engineering and aquatic planning. Moats Engineering handled all mechanical, electrical, and plumbing. Kleininger's handled the civil engineering, and Terracon did all the geotechnical work on this survey. And it created a large process for us. Then, this was obviously taking time to do all that work. In 2020, on March 11th, a communication was set out because prior to the report being totally complete, it was evident that there was going to be some significant work that had to be done on the pool before it could be opened. So a communication was sent out to the Anderson family saying that, you know, there is going to be some large expense with this, and so we need to plan forward. The next day, the world shut down. We closed everything for COVID. Then as we go into 2021, we presented a comprehensive study. Okay, the comprehensive study was presented to the board at a meeting. Mike Broadwater did a large presentation on it, and there is also a very significant manual of data presented to the board at that time. And that gave list of options of how to move forward, possible ways to move forward. And at the same time, the Aquatics Citizen Advisory Group was put together. And I am going to say this, I don't believe that was an official board committee, but it did involve many people, and they did meet a handful of times. Okay? Then through 22 and 24, it was exploring alternative funding because some of the numbers that we got were rather large, and so the funding streams were analyzed. Okay? And then at that time, I believe Mr. Hook started sharing some possible standalone estimates. If we built a standalone auditorium, this is what that would cause. Okay? So then in 2025, recently, this past year, we wanted to get some updated pricing and make sure our pricing was set forth. And that team consisted of MSA, who led the initial study, SHP, another architectural firm that has a great deal of experience in building pools in schools, and HGC, the construction companies that have built some pools in the area in schools also. And they did site visits through that time, and they referenced obviously all the data from the 21 study. And at that time, then we got some rough numbers, and I presented those numbers to the facilities committee this past fall. And then later this year, earlier this year in 26, we actually did a tour of the pool with Dr. Strickler and Dr. Simmons and a variety of community members that came along too. So that's the history, that's how we got to where we are. What I'd like to do is do a quick review of what I presented in the fall facilities and technology meeting. And it basically came up with these sets, this slide up here. It gave us 4 things to look at. Renovate a pool, replace a pool, remove the pool and demo bleachers, in other words, fill in the pool, and then a standalone facility. You really can't tell it on the slide. The standalone facility on my thing is really grayed out because that's not a conversation for tonight. Okay, just the 3 options. So the renovate a pool and replace a pool. Just let me give you an analogy what the renovate a pool means. Think of having a house, an old house that you purchase that's run down. You renovate that house to live in it. When you start those renovations, you believe you know everything that's wrong with it. Okay? Until you get into it. And I'm seeing smiles, so maybe some people have lived through that process also personally. So you really don't know what you got until you get in it. And so there's a range of renovation costs, and it's never new. parts of it are, but there's always something else that the challenge. So then that is where the renovation is. To replace the pool is you bought the plot of land that house is on and you demolished it totally and you built a brand new house. And this would be inside the exact same footprint that the pool currently is. So it'd be under the gym, under 60-year-old walls and footers. And so there's a lot of work that would be involved with that to make any renovate or a new pool inside Anderson's gym, or underneath Anderson's gym in the current pool area. That's why you see almost double the amount of money renovate to new. And then the other option we asked to is if, what would happen, could we turn this into, I always call it an empty box. In other words, fill in the pool, have a concrete slab, either remove the bleacher structure or leave it, and then have it that, and then that's a start of what else that area could be. Those were the three options we asked them for. And these are the dollar figures that we're comfortable with, that they are. And again, it's up on the slide, I know you guys can read, but just to point out for anyone listening at home or anything, these are ROM numbers, rough order of magnitude numbers. To get any more specific numbers, that then is a great deal of cost to the district to get everything very specific. But all three organizations, MSA, SHP, and HGC, believe these are, strong numbers that we could work from.
Two questions real
Yes.
quick, John. So the renovate numbers, I'm having old house flashbacks, and the number of layers we found in the bathroom when we took down a wall. So these could be off depending on what's found. They could be low depending
Yes,
on what's
they
found
definitely
as we
could be
get
low.
into renovation. Okay, I just wanted to make sure I understood that piece, that this is best case scenario. And then am I hearing you correctly, then if we were to move forward with one of these next steps, there would be additional costs, I would assume then, if these are just rough orders, to actually bring in architects and contractors to figure out
None of this
exact costs?
takes
Okay.
in the design fees, the
Okay.
architectural studies, anything like that. This is pretty much the materials and what they believe time would be involved.
Okay,
for
thank
the-
you.
The construction.
I just have one clarification question, and I know we'll be studying this a lot more over the next month, but the difference between renovate and replace, my understanding is that one of the problems is that it is not deep enough to dive and not wide enough to host a
Correct,
swim
thank you.
meet.
Thank you, I didn't have that on my old notation. Yes, right now, if we would renovate it, it would not meet diving purposes, because we were grandfathered to the diving depth.
Okay,
So we would still have to dig out the whole pool, the pool deck to lay in a new pool. That would be a challenge. Okay? Any other questions on this part?
So if we replaced, would that include diving? Or
Yes,
would
yes,
that's-
a
okay,
replacement, we
replace
would
include
go
diving.
do the full set. We would have to go deep enough, because basically you just have to dig deeper. The pool well would be deeper and longer. The slope up.
and we
that
can
has to
stay in
get-
the same footprint and go long,
Yeah.
whatever I thought it was
You-
wider and
the-
that it needed
the-
to host a meet.
No, to get the depth, you have the slot of the pool, here's
Mm-hmm.
the deep end of that slot. We have to go down, and the slot has to get away from the diving board too. So it's the
diving.
same length of lane, it's just there's more deep.
Got it.
More
But-
deep than
But
less
for
shallow.
hosting a swim meet on the swim side, not the dive side, could we do the new regulations within the existing footprint?
Yes, and swimming would be fine, just be a standard 6-lane pool.
Okay,
To get to a competition level pool, that's a whole nother thing. We'd be moving walls out of the thing. So yeah, those dollar figures would go up
is that
quite a
hard?
bit.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Thank you, John.
Okay,
Thank you.
okay, good with that?
Yeah.
Okay, and then that's where we are physically and with construction stuff, but we wanted to also give you some information on, the aquatics program as a whole. Currently in ECC, there are only 3 other schools that have pools in the league. So, and then also, if you look at the state level, this is not an all-inclusive list. What we truthfully did is I took the list Mike Broadwater put in his 21 presentation, and then I talked to all these schools and confirmed they were in the same scenarios. So these are current numbers also. And as you can see, of districts that have multiple high schools, there are only 2 districts that even have pools. And Parma is the only one that actually has a pool per building. So pools are a little tough. And then there's always the question of where's swimming going, what's participation level. So what we did, I got with the athletic directors, we pulled all the old rosters, got their information from Tony and Chris and Terrell, combination of final forms and got their participation numbers throughout the years. So you can see any trends or process when you dig through that also.
Thank you.
Okay. And then we get all that put in place. The last slide, last 2 slides will deal with some of the cost of operating a pool. What does it do to have the pool? So what we've done is we've taken Turpin, our existing pool, and Doug Baker, our head custodian, was very helpful in this, gathering all this information. I can share the extreme details of how we came to these numbers, but the labor annually, that means his time and/or another person's time, is roughly $5,000 a year. The pool pump motor, we actually figured the electricity bill, worked with our electric consultant to figure out how much that costs to run, and then pool chemicals. Those are hard costs. We can't control those. This other list of costs we really can't control either, but we budget for too, is all the replacement stuff. Eventually, stuff breaks in a pool. An auditorium. Now I'm stuck with aquarium. Thank you,
Aquatic facility.
Center. Is a very, very harsh environment.
Yeah.
Because of all the chlorine. That's why we're replacing the air handling unit at Turpin this summer, and it's a very special unit that has to have stainless steel impellers and stuff like that, so it doesn't dissolve like it would if a traditional unit would be in there. So there are some significant costs with that. And then what really matters to me the most is how could we try to make them feel more comfortable? Because there's always, schools going, buildings going to other buildings. So what we did is we redid the entire natatorium, repainted the whole place, rebranded it. All 3 schools have branding in there. We even have alternate flag markers and everything, trying to make it more hospitable for them. And I believe that has happened. I mean, so that's where we are today. I mean, do you have any specific questions that you can think of? And I'm sure you will after you digest some stuff. And if that happens, please reach out to me. I'll be more than glad to answer any questions that come along.
Okay. Thank you. This was very helpful. It gives us the information to look at. I know I'm interested in going back and rewatching the 2021 presentation as well. And, this has come back on the radar, and I think as a board, we would like to have some time to digest all this and then look at making a decision about what needs to happen next. So, any other questions?
Thank you, John.
Thank you for putting together all of these materials.
Yes.
No problem. Appreciate the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening.
All right, now teaching and learning. Mr. Buck.
Yes.
Oh.
I'm going to temporarily step away.
Okay.
Alana, could you record that I'm temporarily stepping away and I'll be back? Thank you.
Thank you. We'll see you shortly.
Good evening, board. Tonight, Teaching and Learning is bringing the school fees for 26-27 school year. 2 different documents, K through 8, and then the high school. Very minimal changes from this current year into next year. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Roth.
All right, good evening, board members.
Good evening.
I have 5 items to talk through with you tonight. And excuse me, my notes are a little out of order here, so. Item 12.2 is an annual contract for specialized IEP placement at Cincinnati Center for Autism. This is an annual renewal, so it's the same as last year. Cost went up a little bit, and the cost is listed there for you. I'll pause after each one if you have any questions. Okay. 12.3 is an annual contract with Cincinnati Occupational Therapy Institute. It provides occupational therapy services to the district and IEP teams at 1.6 FTEs. And the location's actually wrong in your agenda. It's actually for Anderson and Mercer. And the cost is also there for you.
And I assume 1.6 FTEs is meeting our students' needs at the current time?
Well, we actually have 8 FTEs total for OTs.
Oh, it's just who's contracted through.
COTI is 1.6 of that 8.
Thank you, that makes sense.
The 6.4 will come next month, most likely.
Got it.
Let's see. 12.4 is, so this contract represents our summer evaluation work in our preschool at Sherwood. So it's an annual contract that we do every summer. This summer, it's up to 16 required evaluations. It includes a psychologist, occupational therapist, speech therapist, physical therapist, and audiology. This contract is just for June. There'll actually be another one for July because of the fiscal year changeover. That cost is there for you as well. 12.5 is very similar to 12.2. It's an annual contract for specialized IEP placement at Applied Behavioral Services. Is also a renewal. That cost is listed there for you. And last but not least for May, this is actually a triannual contract with Healthcare Processing Consulting. So HPC is our school's Medicaid service vendor. Our psychologists and related service providers log certain services they deliver to our kids, and HPC helps us receive Medicaid reimbursement for some of those eligible services. Any questions on all that?
Makes sense.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, item 13, technology, Mr. Meese.
Good evening, Board. Tonight there's one item for technology, item 13.1. Technology Department is asking for authorization to purchase the equipment and services as listed through the federal E-rate program. Are there any questions?
So the first one looked like equipment, and the second one, these are forward edge techs who are on
Those are
site to help,
services
am I
that they
understanding?
provide, networking services that they provide on the back end to support the network infrastructure.
Got it, okay. Yeah, makes sense.
Anything else?
I think we're good.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, item 14, treasurer update, Mrs. Cropper.
All right. The first item on the treasurer's agenda tonight is a resolution accepting the amounts and rates as determined by the County Budget Commission and authorizing the county auditor to collect the necessary levies on our behalf and certifying that those levies are indeed necessary to operate the district. This resolution is required by the Ohio Revised Code to return to the county. Moving on to 14.2, Treasurer's Report. This month, we're reporting on the time period for the month and the fiscal year to date ended April 30th, 2026. Things are proceeding as projected during this year. To date, during the month of April, we collected over 16,000 in donations, bringing our donations total year to date to 284,000. So again, we have some very generous donors that we are very thankful for in our community. General fund revenues with 85% was 83% of the year completed. We have collected 85% of our revenues, so moving right along. Primary revenues received during the month of April include the final settlement from the county auditor for the spring tax payment. We also received the once-a-year per diem revenue settlement from the state in $134,000. Moving on to expenditures, to date, we've spent 81%, again with 83% of our year completed. One of our larger expenditures during the month of April, you see there on the executive summary, is $771,000 to the county auditor. The county auditor charges us 1.25% to collect and distribute the taxes to us. So that is the amount they charge to collect and distribute the spring settlement to us. Moving on through there, you can see your permanent improvement activity. You know, Mr. Meese just brought the $240,000 contract to you that's listed on the permanent improvement projects for this coming summer. I do want to mention that it is E-rate, and we'll be getting 40% of that back. So 240 spent, 96,000 back. And that'll come in sometime during October through December. We'll deposit that back in permanent improvement when we get there. Moving on, you see your usual reports that we have there. Every month, permanent appropriations were increased just a bit to cover the projects as they were mainly to cover the Nagel Field. It ended up being a little bit more than we had originally anticipated, so we needed to increase appropriations to cover that. In addition to the more detailed reports that you have on the treasurer's report, you also have the cash position report contained within board docs there. Any questions on the treasurer's report? Hearing none, I respectfully request that you approve the treasurer's items as part of the consent agenda, which began with item 10.1 and concluded with 14.2.
All right, can I get a motion to approve action items 10.1 through 14.2 as presented?
So moved.
Mr. Nye?
Yes.
Mr. Ward?
Yes.
Dr. Strickler?
Yes. Item 15.1 is the policy committee report. Jeff Nye is going to share out our large number of policies to start reviewing.
Yeah, we are publishing for review about 20 policies. They're all available on board docs. It is our policy to publish them twice, so we're not voting on them today, but we'll vote on them next month. Just generally speaking, there's about 8 that relate to transportation, procurement, and a few other things. 5 relating to processing financial transactions and budgeting and like credit card points and that kind of fun stuff. There's 6 that relate to academics, including enrollment and entrance requirements and how old you are for kindergarten and that kind of thing. Student records, how you qualify for scholarships and that kind of thing. And 1 AI policy, which updates our existing AI policy, so we're compliant with the state's new requirement that has to be in by July 1st. Clarify some definitions and so on. So we can talk about these more at the next meeting. I guess the only other thing I'll say for anyone who's listening who isn't familiar with this process is, I guess probably 3-4 weeks ago, a big group of people from every department got together and with our Neola rep who produces these recommended policies. We went through kind of line by line with all their suggested changes and options, say, well, we think this is right for us and here's why, and not this one, yes to this one, no to that one, and so on. It's a big collaborative process with kind of people weighing in from all angles on this. So again, we'll be voting on it next month, so if anyone has any questions, please bring them to us and we'll review them and talk about them more at that point.
All right, sounds perfect. All right, item 16.1, well, 16 is board discussion. 16.1 is appointment of board representative for 2026. So the Hamilton County Tax Incentive Review Council, also known as TURC, requires that we have a board member liaison to be connected with the Hamilton County Tax Review. I have spoken, or I guess emailed with Jason since he is out of the country. He was the appointee last year as Chair of Finance and is willing to do that again.
I was gonna say, that sounds like a job for Jason.
Also, because he's not here to agree or disagree. But yes, I would make a motion to approve Jason Simmons as the Board of Education appointment for the 2026 year as presented.
Second.
Dr. Strickler?
Yes.
Mr. Nye?
Yes.
Mr. Ward?
Yes.
All right. I really did reach out to him. We didn't just assign him an unknown role.
Sure.
Item 16.2, board discussion. Anything for the good of the group, gentlemen?
I only have just one thing. I guess it was 2 weeks ago today was the last Forest Hills Council meeting of the year, which I attended and chatted with a little bit, and this is something that we'll talk more about, I think, in future meetings and work sessions and so on, but just sort of two things that came up in that meeting that I'll throw out there to think about just so we're all in the loop. One is there are a lot of questions about the property tax initiative that's going around. I don't know what the latest is on that. I think we heard roughly a month ago that they're still collecting signatures, didn't expect to hit their target, may or may not hit enough to get on the ballot, and so they may or may not submit, but there's a lot of concern in the room about what that would mean for the schools. And so one of the things I've said is, well, in our treasurer's report, you know how much cash we have to operate this for. If no more comes in, we can keep the doors open for 120 days or something. And that is, not exactly what would happen if the property tax faucet were turned off, but it's pretty close. So something people keep an eye on. It's something that people are concerned about. So have it on your radar, and we'll talk more about it and see what happens with that. And I think the deadline is early July, if I remember correctly. See if it's going to be on the ballot in November, maybe early August. I'm not quite sure. The other thing that came up is that there is a sense among the Forest Hills Council that some of the requests they get to fund certain things are things that they don't feel should necessarily be within their purview. They're fine to run events, and I don't want to misstate it, but they talked about things like wanting to be able to focus on events and maybe doing some things, but they're being asked sometimes to fund maintenance costs for playgrounds and things like that, which doesn't seem like it's really within their scope, or whether it is or not. I guess the real point was there isn't a lot of clarity about what should be the district's responsibility and what the council will handle and what the foundation does and this kind of thing. So something to put on our radar as something to establish some policies and norms and plans about in the future.
Okay. Thanks. Thank you. Mr. Ward?
Just congrats to all the graduates. The world is in front of you, and I hope that you go out and make it what you want to be. Again, thanks to all the staff and getting us across the finish line. So that's it.
I love it. I have a less exciting one to follow up with first, but I want to just make the board aware, and I will have more details on this in 2 weeks to share. But just as a reminder, I guess 4 to 6 weeks ago, we had a great collaborative meeting for the first time with the trustees and the parks, the presentation on the Beach Acres property and looking at moving forward. And when we left, the sense in the room was the park was taking the lead on a feasibility study. Larry and I did have a follow-up meeting afterwards with a smaller group just to follow up, and at that time learned that they were looking at also including it to increase an inventory, to include an inventory of recreational amenities across Anderson Township as well, and they have decided to work with Branstead or Carroll for that project. So it's a little bit more than a feasibility study at this point. It also includes recreational amenities. Just yesterday, I believe Mr. Hook got an email, could have been 2 days ago, that he then passed on to me. The park board, when they met this week, is now putting forth a request to the school district and trustees about whether we might be interested in splitting the cost for that feasibility study, which, if memory serves, was about $88,000. So that is not a small undertaking. So I'm going to gather more information on exactly what would be included, so that in 2 weeks we could have a further conversation about what that would look like.
Would that be our share, or is that the total cost?
That's the total. Across all of it. So I feel like I just need a little bit more information about what that would include and how it would involve the school district. 85,000. So look, it's a tiny bit better. About how that would involve the school district and what that would look like to help benefit us moving forward. So stay tuned, but I just kind of wanted to put it on the radar. So, and last but not least, we would like to take a minute to thank Mr. Hook for his 4 years in our district, for the work you have done to help us continue to thrive as a district and to keep the forest strong. We have a little something for you as a thank you. Actually, it's a big something.
Lord.
Wow. We would like to share before we wrap up tonight. And once you open it, you'll probably know who the brainchild behind it was.
Okay.
I'll wait and share.
Wow.
Wow.
Thank you. It's been an honor. I truly enjoyed it. We have some great people here. I think more than anything else, I've always tried to focus on the people that really make the magic happen. And that's our administration and our teachers and our staff. And they're top notch. And appreciate it. Thank you.
Absolutely. All right, our next meeting is scheduled for June 2nd. Is that correct? It is. Oh my gosh, it's gonna be June at Central Office at 4:30. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Nye?
Yes.
Mr. Ward?
Yes.
Dr. Strickler?
Yes. Thank you all. Yes. I was thinking the same thing.